Welcome to We Geek Podcast. Today is Wednesday, February 13th.
How about April 12th?
Oh my God, what did I say?
Wow, how
February?
much Mucinex did you just take?
Jesus, all right. God, I'm telling you, man, I have literally been out of it all day. You know, when you're sick, you're just like,
Yeah.
I just need to sleep, you know?
Yeah, I just had that like a couple weeks, like last week. I know exactly how you feel.
Oh yeah, yeah. So tomorrow I got most of the day off. I just have to work like 2 hours, so whew, I'm feeling good. So, all right, February, Jesus Christ. Welcome to We Geek Podcast. Today is Wednesday, April 13th. Oh man, and I am Adam, joined by my good friend Logan.
Yeah, hello.
And if you can't tell, I'm on a lot of cough medicine.
I almost want to just use that first take and run it together. It'd be great.
Exactly. You know, we might. Who cares? But yeah, man, I am just so out of it. But you know, the show goes on, so I'm not too bad. You know what I mean? If I was really sick, then I would be like, dude. But you know, it's just starting to creep up on me, and we got a lot of news to talk about, man. We got so much to talk about.
Yeah.
I got to play some Ratchet and Clank.
Nice. So we'll talk about that. How brief first impression?
Probably my favorite first-party game I played on the PlayStation 4 so far.
Nice.
Yeah, and it's not saying much. There's not much out there, but you know, it's right up there with Bloodborne, and I can see myself actually beating this game. So it's fun. I had no idea Ratchet and Clank was so fun. You know, we'll get into it in a little bit. It reminds me of like. It's like the Lego games kind of. You can tell the Lego games took a lot of what Ratchet and Clank does, but made it super simple.
Yeah.
Where Ratchet and Clank, there's so much going on the screen. There's so much more shooting than I thought there was going to be. There's so much creative guns, and it feels good. It feels really good. So we'll talk all about that in a little bit. I also saw, I think it's called the Death and Return of Superman Lives.
Oh, the death of was that the whole title, or was it just the Death of Superman Lives?
It's the Death and Return. Oh yes, the Death of Superman Lives. What happened?
Right.
I'm sorry. I'm thinking of the Death and Return of Superman, which was Max Landis' little YouTube bit.
Right.
Yeah, this episode's gonna be wacky. Just buckle in.
Hey, that's all right. That's why we encourage our audience to invest in seatbelts.
Exactly. I'm gonna say, you know, Wesley Snipes, Wolverine, like it's just gonna be wacky. But yeah, man. So I saw that, and that was just so fascinating. Have you seen that?
I saw it.
I know you have. That's right.
Right after it came out, like right when they put it on VOD.
That's right. You were the one that told me about it. You were like, you got to see this because
it's kooky, isn't it?
Yeah, behind the scenes is just so much fun to me. I think one of the books I'm going to pick this week is kind of like a behind the scenes thing.
Oh, nice.
I just got to look it up. I know who wrote it, but don't know exactly the title. But we'll get to all of that in a little bit. How was your week, man?
Good. You know, work. Same old, same old. No movies this week, really.
Same here. Oh, yeah. One good. Yeah, I didn't watch any movies, like in the theater or anything. I was able to go to Disney this week, and it was awesome. I went to Hollywood Studios. I got to see the new Star Wars launch bay and stuff. The problem was, and it wasn't a problem because I had a lot of fun with my friends. We had a group of like 10 people, and maybe 2 or 3 of them cared about Star Wars, and I was the only one that was like obsessed with Star Wars. So when we went into it, we watched the movie, we walked through the area, and you could tell half of them were just deadlining out of the building just to go get a drink or whatever. And I was like, oh well. If I was there like by myself or with a few close friends, probably would have spent more time in there because they had like all these props, original props, or reconstructive, like this is how big the models were, and outfits and all this cool stuff.
Nice.
That entire park is Star Wars. Like all the people walking around, you see a few Disney characters. It's almost entirely Star Wars characters though.
Nice.
So much so that at the end of the night, Epcot and Magic Kingdom do the fireworks. So now Hollywood Studio does, and it's all Star Wars. It's all done to Star Wars music. The fireworks that shoot up look like the Death Star and like X-wings and all this crazy stuff. It's so freaking cool. But yeah, it was a ton of fun. So my buddy came into town and I wasted too much money. So, but I'll do that when you come into town too. So it's all
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah. I only see a few people every once in a while, so you gotta go big and have fun. And that's probably why I'm sick.
Well,
Now that I think about it.
it's worth it.
Oh, totally worth it. Totally worth it. But okay, man. Well, let's get into the news. You go ahead and take the first one.
Yeah, man, this was big because this just happened. CinemaCon right now is going on over in Vegas, and it's it's like Comic-Con for distributors.
Okay.
And sometimes you get some news out of it and everything. We've had a little bit of that news just a couple hours ago. Right now, I think Sony is doing their presentation. Paramount did theirs. It was either way earlier or it was last night. I don't remember which. But earlier today, Warner Brothers did theirs. I'm talking like it's Tuesday because it happens to be Tuesday. But so Warner Brothers did theirs, and the chairman and CEO for Warner Brothers, Kevin Tsuchihara, got up and he said, "Oh, hey, by the way, you know those rumors about Ben Affleck starring and directing in a standalone Batman film? Yeah, we're gonna do that."
That's awesome. Yeah, I just saw the
That's
news.
rad.
Yeah, that's really cool. We were talking about how, and you can listen to our not secret, but our special podcast that has everything to do with Batman versus Superman and Daredevil, that is live. Oh, I gotta post it. That's right. See, I've been sick all day, but go listen to that. You'll hear us talk about it. You've heard us talk about it on the show before, but Ben Affleck was probably one of our favorite parts about it. So.
Yeah.
Knowing that he's going to not only star in it but also write it, that's really cool.
Well, they didn't confirm the writing part.
Oh, I thought it said that he was also writing.
Directing.
Directing? Oh, well, okay. I must have read a different article. Okay.
Actor directing. They've talked about like he's written his own script for it.
Okay.
But they haven't said like we don't know what script they're going to use, whether they're going to use that or they're going to bring in some other people to work on it. That much we don't know, but we do know he has written a draft. So whether or not they use that or not is up to them.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. Gotcha. Yeah. Because okay. Yeah. I see the quote here. It says, "We're working with Ben Affleck on a standalone Batman movie," he announced. Okay. So yeah. See, I thought he said, okay, so here, yeah, it says the rumor is that he had a script and stuff. So that's what I misunderstood. Yeah. So that's cool. Yeah. Dude, that's so awesome.
If they don't call it Argotham, then they're really missing out on a golden opportunity.
Yeah, man. Well, what would you want? What would you want the standalone Batman movie to be? Knowing what like kind of time period this is like. Do you want one that's set before Batman vs Superman?
I want one that's set. I want to see Jason Todd. I want to see that.
Do you want to see the Red Hood Jason Todd or Jason Todd death?
I want to see the death in the family.
Death in the family.
That's where I think they need to go, and use that as a contrasting point. Do some before that, and then do some like between that and Batman vs Superman. I would like for it to kind of end / dovetail into Batman v Superman. Mm-hmm. But I think it needs to explain why this is Batman that way.
Right. Gotcha.
That's what I'd want to see. I don't need to see what comes next, because that's going to be the Justice League films.
Right.
That's where that's going to go. It's got to be before that. And even like if they decided to do it like a Suicide Squad prequel, I would be okay with that too. That would be interesting.
It seems like so far Batman is going to be our line through these movies. Now, granted, there's only been 3 movies. It just seems moving forward, he was in this. This was mostly his film. At least to me, it was a lot Batman. And now he's going to be in Suicide Squad. And we can kind of, if we're done with this for a moment, we gotta blend in the second bit of news, so we can talk about both. Did you see the new Suicide Squad trailer?
I did.
Yeah.
It confused me.
And how so?
Because I don't know what they were going for.
Oh yeah,
Like
that's right. We
it started, like for anybody, maybe they don't listen to the other episodes, so I'll do this bit here too.
right.
Like it started, and I know you like this. It started with like, hey, what if Batman wasn't actually paranoid enough?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I thought that was a terrible thing to remind people of,
Right.
because nobody going into this film is going to want to be reminded of Batman v Superman. They're just not. Nobody should have to be reminded of that film.
Right.
But then they went with like, and now here's some comedy elements, and here's some action elements, and here's some comedy mixed in with the action, mixed in with some just really awful jokes. And I, just because the last trailer was, it sent a message. Here's the setup, and then here's goofy, fun action set to awesome music.
Right.
And it's like they tried to do that again in this one, but they tried to turn it up, and you turn it up so far and you get distortion, and that's what happened here.
Right. I mean, I don't know. I disagree a little bit. I loved it. I think I wasn't as offended by you when they were like, here's what happened with, when they mentioned Superman and Superman ripping he'll rip. What if he rips the president out of the White House? It's like, okay, you're making it very clear that you're aware of the audience, because that's exactly how that tone of the very beginning of the trailer. It's kind of how everyone was coming out of Batman or Superman. Like, what? Why are we making Superman this? Uh, this like he could be bad type of thing. And I like how immediately, even like it transitions just with the Joker laughing and the WB sign, like ticking, and suddenly, you don't own me, and suddenly it's all into this, like you said, this awesome music, and it's joke, 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 Harley Quinn, joke, 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 Will Smith, joke, joke, and to me it was more of the last trailer. I guess I see what you're saying. They amped it up. My beef with it, and this is what I at first I wasn't that, I thought I didn't care, but now I hope we didn't see everything.
Yeah, I hope it's not the Batman Superman fiasco trailer all over again.
Right, right. I hope we get into, yeah, exactly. I hope that they save some stuff for the film, because a lot of the entertaining moments it looks like we've seen in the trailer, and so I don't think they necessarily spoiled the movie or anything else like that. If you really want to break down the trailers and see who's in what scene and whatever, that's your own thing. But I don't think we still don't know who they're fighting. At least, unless you really try and break down the trailer and have some good guesses, you don't have Doomsday flying out of the corner and you're like, whoa. I like that. I really like that, because it's still ambiguous about how much the Joker is in play, because I think a lot of the scenes he's shown in are flashbacks, and he's in like a different outfit every time you see him. So,
Yeah.
I think that's really cool. I have no idea what's going to happen. I just know that we're going to have these characters. They're going to be a part of a team. They're in a Suicide Squad. They are funny. I mean, I know you said they're a little cheesy, but I liked the one-liners. And I don't know. I'm optimistic about this way more than I was for Batman vs Superman.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, and back to Ben Affleck, like, yeah, I like that they showed him in this trailer. He has like this underwater mask thing on when he's diving in, and this has to be one of like a Batman that loves gadgets, and I like that. That was one thing about the Batman vs Superman, is that he had a bunch of gadgets, and in this he's got the water mask, and like I think this is really cool. That was a really cool thing to show, and it'll probably be a pretty cool toy too.
Yeah.
I don't know. I thought it was really cool, and has to be my favorite with the Joker in it. The scene where half of his head is like, it just looks like he got burnt. I saw on Twitter, and it immediately reminded me of this picture. So I'm not trying to, oh, I saw it on the internet. No, like I was like, I've seen that image before somewhere. And me and you if we don't read a lot of DC, we still read Batman.
Right.
And the image of the Joker's face almost burnt off with this like cool in style haircut, which is like what everyone's rocking. And it was really smart for Greg Capullo and them to actually do that to the Joker, I think. But anyway, he has that look in the trailer with like half of his face blown off. And I was just like, that's a cool look. tattoos look like shit still, but that looks really cool. And I love the line that he's delivering where he's just like, um, actually no, I forgot. But when you're
Yeah,
watching it, what's
yeah.
up?
No, I was just agreeing with you.
Yeah, yeah. There's I forget the line, but he was just like, I'm gonna. He's not. He doesn't say I'm gonna hurt you real, real bad, but he's like, you don't want to tease me, don't you, or something like that. And the way he said it, the way he delivered the line, it was more important than what he was saying. And it sounded like the Joker, if that makes sense.
Right.
Everything about him, I'm actually really digging. It's just the tattoos, and I don't know. I don't know how they're gonna. I don't know how they're going to, because I think they hear people say that, but it's a decision they made a long time ago. They have to stick with.
Right.
Yeah, there's nothing they can do now. So I've kind of lived with it. I'm okay with it. I'm really excited to see him portray it. But yeah, all right. You want to kind of steer the ship this one because I'm just so out of
Sure,
it.
but no, that's all right. And
Yeah,
this still kind of keeps the DC train rolling, because they did announce they're adding two new DC films to the schedule. Warner Brothers did. Uh,
okay.
one, and now we know one of these is going to be the Batman film.
Okay.
But they've got one scheduled for October 5th, 2018, and they've got one for November 1st, 2019.
Okay.
So that'll be interesting. They've bumped up the Wonder Woman movie from June 23rd, 2017 to June 2nd. They moved it up 3 weeks.
Oh wow.
And I think that's because June 23rd is when the next Transformers movie is coming out.
Gotcha.
So I think they kind of looked at that and said, you know what? That would be really stupid. So let's move this.
Right.
And the interesting thing is, the Jungle Book Origins movie that they're doing, the one with all of Andy Serkis's motion capture, that's not the Disney version, because
Okay.
there's like 4 Jungle Book movies and 3 Tarzan movies, and it's an absolute mess.
I'm getting confused because the one that's like mostly animated but has a live person that Disney's doing the live act. Well, it's called live action, but it's literally the little boy is the only thing live action in it.
Right.
That is the one coming out soon, right?
Yeah, it comes out this week, and apparently it's really
Sweet.
good. Like the
Oh,
reviews have been solid.
yeah, no, it looks awesome to me. I didn't mean to say that in a derogatory means. I just meant like, just so to clear in my head, that one where they're talking, it's Disney, but this Jungle Book Origins is all Andy Serkis.
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay.
It's more motion capture than CG.
Okay.
This
Okay.
one is supposedly more CG
Okay.
than the one that Warner Brothers is doing. It was originally scheduled to come out October 6th of 2016. They have moved it to October 19th, 2018.
Oh wow.
They've moved it up.
Okay. From 2017 to 2018.
Yeah, they've moved it a whole year.
Oh.
And actually, on Twitter, Andy Serkis put up an update about it, and he thinks it's a good idea.
Oh, it is. You need to separate it from a movie that's coming out this year.
Yeah.
You don't want to. The Jungle Book is. Let's be real. It's not Star Wars. It's not Marvel. It's not. It's gonna get some interest of some like old school Disney fans and like people that okay, that looks cool, and kids. You don't want to oversaturate the market with something so niche. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but I mean, Disney, this is what they're doing now with their live actioning all their old animated stuff. And to be fair, they're doing it pretty well.
I don't know. It's just, to me, it's like if it's like the same thing as if there was like 3 Peter Pan movies in 4 years. No, who wants that? It's 2016 though, right? Like I don't know, that it just doesn't seem like, it seems like kids, they're not that into that kind of stuff anymore, if that makes sense.
I disagree.
You disagree? Okay. Well, I guess I'm not in touch anymore.
Look at how much money the live action remake of Cinderella made.
But see, I guess when I walk around and I see kids in my kids in my family and kids like my friends' kids, they are rocking Superman shirts. They are rocking like Star Wars hats. They want Tony Stark things. I don't think a single one of them is like, oh, Peter Pan. I mean, maybe the little ones like the Jake the Pirate, but I don't think a single one of them has ever shown any interest in something called the Jungle Book, if that makes sense.
Well,
I don't know. I guess I don't know.
no, I mean that makes sense. I get it.
I just think that was awesome in the 90s, if that makes sense. Those
Right.
stories, Disney was on fire with those things. And it seems like they have transitioned and but I guess you're right. You're absolutely right. I didn't even think about it. They're doing all this great stuff with Marvel and Star Wars. I wasn't even thinking that they have all this live action stuff too.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not interesting to me, so I guess my opinion is very skewed on it. So yeah.
Well, I mean that's that's understandable, but I'm a numbers guy. I look at how much money Cinderella made and Maleficent made, and I'm thinking, yeah, you know what? They're on to something here.
Okay, yeah, no, and I think Jungle Book honestly is the first out of all of them that I'm like, oh, that looks cool.
Yeah.
With the talent in it, and the story's a little bit more interesting to me. I'm of course never really was into Cinderella or anything like that, but Jungle Book's cool. You got a bunch of animals, fighting each other and stuff, mostly. And Bill Murray is blue. Once I saw that, I was in.
Yeah, I was like, that makes perfect sense. That's someone who really had their casting cap on.
Right.
They were like, who could do this kind of like laid back version of this character? And if your mind doesn't immediately go to Bill Murray, then I worry about you. Like,
and Christopher Walken, when I saw that, I was like, that is so cool.
Yeah.
Oh, real fast. How awesome was it in the Superman Lives or whatever, the documentary, when they were talking about Christopher Walken as Brainiac?
Yeah.
I want that. I really want that. That has to happen.
And here we have the bottled city of Kandor.
It's perfect. Dude, sign me up. If they make another Superman movie, for the love of God, cast him as Brainiac. It has to happen. Tell me that does not sound so fucking cool.
Dude, I would totally go see that, but I mean just for the sheer value of seeing, like, he has to be completely done up. He's got to be green, he's got to have the stickers all over his head. Like, he's got to be the whole thing.
Yeah, and it doesn't have to be cheesy like what they were going to do in that movie,
No.
the Spider or whatever. Like, make him interesting, but have him talk like Christopher Walken, because there's no one else that does that. There's no one, and he grabs your attention. And I think that's so weird and so cool, and I would have freaking loved that. But yeah, sorry to get sidetracked. Let's continue.
I'm just going over a script in my head that's all Walken, and I can't quit laughing.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, do we have enough time to talk about the next thing, or do you want to
we got time.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, this was the news we were gonna lead with, and then all the Batman stuff broke.
Right.
We finally got the Rogue One trailer.
Boy, did we.
Yeah.
How awesome was that?
I'm so hyped. I had somebody at work literally come sliding in as I'm getting ready to take a delivery, and they're like, "Did you see the new trailer?" Didn't say what. They were like, "Did you see the new trailer?" And I was like, "Yeah." They're like, "And did you think it was awesome?" And here was the interesting question that she actually asked. She said, "Did you think it was awesome even though it was a girl?" And I was like, I loved it even more. Like, I'm all excited for that.
Oh yeah, there has been a bunch of hullabaloo.
Yeah, it's
about it being another female lead. Who gets upset about that? You see it on the internet, and you're like, who in real life would ever get upset about that? We've had how many years of male leads for science fiction movies or space operas or Star Wars?
Yeah, it's time to get over it already.
Yeah, exactly. And there's this, by the way, she's surrounded by an entire cast of men except one more person, who was already in the original one. Right. So it's like, if you can't find someone to relate to in that, you have a bigger problem than being upset about that. Yeah. So one of my favorite things about the trailer, dude, and I don't think they shot this in Florida. At first I think I did. I was like, oh, look how cool that is. That looks like freaking Daytona. But when the AT-ATs are at the end, and you see that, and what's cool is when you think of AT-ATs, you think of snow, you think of Hoth. We saw them, falling down in The Force Awakens. We've seen it in Battlefront in like weird locations, but this is the first time in a film where you're just like, it's walking, and it's like, it looks straight up like Florida. It looks like Volusia County.
Well, I mean, that's the thing. Look at all the sets that we've had for Star Wars. I mean, it's either been snow, sand, or jungle.
Right, exactly. And so like we've always got, and that was the thing. They loved introducing new type of things in each
Yeah.
movie. So it seemed like, oh, we the snow speeders. They're snow speeders. They're on Hoth. We think of the AT-ATs or AT-ATs. You think of Hoth. I love that we're getting them in different locations, and it's really it's messing with me, and I love that. When I
Yeah.
saw that it just looked really cool with them walking and splashing in the water
Yeah,
and
it's
running out.
yeah, it was definitely kind of jarring because you're like, wait a minute, hang on, this isn't right, is it?
Right. Oh yeah, oh yeah. My question to you is, who do you think the guy in the white robe is? That is clearly an admiral, but do you think he's Tarkin or someone else?
I think he's someone else.
You think? No.
I think he's obviously very highly ranked.
Right.
Um,
Well, I
eh,
cheated. I looked up the symbol, like how many things he has. He's an admiral of some kind.
okay,
But I don't know. I don't know anything beyond that. You want to hear my crazy theory?
go
It's
for it.
not true. It's not going to come true. Um,
It's too early for that.
right, right. And he helped me out because my mind just went blank. Not Tarkin, but
You're not thinking of Thrawn, are you?
Thrawn. That's what I'm thinking
Yeah,
of.
too early for that. Way too early.
Well, it's really, is it? Because we have him hinted at in the books, which is now canon.
Right. My thing is, this guy's too old.
Well, no, he looks young. That was the thing of people saying it can't be Tarkin.
I didn't think he looked young.
We'll see. Okay, so
Maybe
okay,
I'll go back and watch it again. Maybe.
right. My first thought was that's Grand Moff Tarkin. It has to be. But then I thought this is a few years before the Death Star was, ready. This was just a few years before that. So at least in from what I can imagine, it would be because they're getting the Death Star plans and they're putting on
Right.
for all we know, that might be like the end scene where they're putting the cap on it. But I thought, no, well, he'd be too young to be Tarkin because Tarkin looks a lot older in the first movie. So I thought, who could that be? And I thought, what if they just digitally put the blue on him and they're just not doing it for the trailer to be a complete and utter surprise in the film for fans?
Well, I mean,
Doubt that would happen, but
it's
that would be
possible.
really cool. It's possible. Imagine that. Like you see him in the theater and you're like, oh shit, they did it, and
Yeah.
he's in the film, and he is he's the antagonist in this film, going after them, and he's in this cool little story, and so because he is a part of this timeline, he's very much a part of this timeline. In fact, so much so that in the book, remember, he was saying, I wonder if I was in charge instead of Vader, how would that have been different?
Right.
If there was no personal vendetta or whatever, what would have happened on Endor? So he is very high ranked at that point in time. He wasn't I guess he wasn't admiral. So you're right. Dang it, there goes that theory. But I don't know, dude. I'm just wishful thinking.
It could be. I don't know. I think it'll be somebody different.
Right, right. And it's a new character. That'd be awesome too.
Yeah, I think that's where they're going. Is it's going to be somebody new, or it's somebody that. Ooh, what if? Oh no, it wouldn't be him. Damn. I was thinking of one of the dudes from Lost Stars, but it wouldn't have been him.
Right, that's true. You know what I was also thinking, real sidetrack real fast?
What?
When we saw the trailer for Suicide Squad, who's the Clint Eastwood son playing?
Isn't he playing? Who is he playing?
He's not on IMDb. He's no named.
Huh.
Scott Eastwood, and they're not saying. So, I was thinking, what if he was Tim Drake?
Or maybe what if he's the guy they're actually after?
I guess, because he's in the first. You're right. He's not in the second part of all the action and stuff.
Yeah.
He's only in the first part getting them together.
Yeah, that's true. Well, he's not Rick Flag?
He's not Rick Flag, but he's in that scene.
Huh. Interesting.
Yeah, I'm just curious who it is. But anyway, we're going to take a quick break. We got so much news to talk about. Again, you're listening to We Geek Podcast on the N.FM. See you in a minute. Welcome back to We Geek Podcast on the N.FM, and we're in the middle of movie news. We just got done talking about Batman, Superman, Suicide Squad, Rogue One. Anything else you want to say about Rogue One?
I'm very excited. I can't wait.
Yeah, me too, man. That's going to be one hell of a film. That's probably my most anticipated film this year, of course.
Yeah. So let's move on to your most anticipated film of next year.
Yeah, exactly. Go ahead and take it.
Yeah, for Star Wars Episode 8. Ryan Johnson, who is directing, tweeted out an image showing the motion capture work they're doing from Maz, because she's going to be back.
Awesome.
And in some interestingly related news, there have been rumors that Frank Oz has been spotted in and around Pinewood Studios.
Oh, that's cool.
Well, and here's the interesting thing. He was supposed to be part of the little voiceover dream sequence in Force Awakens.
Mm-hmm.
And they decided not to use what he cut.
Right.
So I am sure we will see Yoda again, especially with there being more Luke in Episode 8. Mm-hmm. That we're gonna start see in some. I don't know if they're gonna bring him, like if we're going to see the Force Ghost, or if it's just gonna be maybe his voice bouncing around in Luke's head. But
it could very easily be him doing stuff for Rogue One.
That I don't think so.
You don't think so? It could. It's a possibility.
Maybe, but there's just Yoda is so isolated between 3 and 4.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. It wouldn't fit in well because.
I mean, there's always a possibility. You can always weave these strands together in different ways. But I think it would make more sense if it was Episode 8.
I totally agree. Yeah, I think it's probably him as a Force Ghost talking to Luke. In that book that we got, the art. And dude, I gotta look up when the making of the Star Wars book comes out sometime this year. But in the art book that we got, we saw one of the coolest things that I would have never thought of was the Darth Vader ghost, where it was Anakin, half Darth Vader. It faded in and out because he was both light and dark. I love that they were playing with that. So it's very clear that he's talking to somebody. So be it if they're gonna have Obi-Wan or Yoda or both of them, having a little power. I'm all in.
Totally.
Like I'm more. I was so excited for 7 because it was just the first thing in so long, and now it's too early to get this excited again. But I'm so freaking excited about 8 because now we're getting in deep lore. We got introduced to the characters that we now love. They hit it on all cylinders. Now it seems like we're gonna get into the lore. We're gonna get into the meat of it. At least that's the feeling I'm getting, or at least that's what I'm hoping.
Yeah, they. I forget who it was that did the interview, but they were talking to Daisy Ridley, and she said that 8 has such a different feel than 7, because 7 was all about setting up this story,
right? And
now we get to jump into it.
And then I had a conversation, if I could say this for one moment. I had a conversation with some of my friends who just saw it because they got the Blu-ray. They're cool guys. They're cops, and they're just so busy, they got a family and everything else. They just, I came on. And I was playing a video game with them yesterday actually, and they were like, hey, I saw Star Wars, and some of their complaints, which, I told them, I was like, dude, I completely understand why that did bother you a little bit, was he didn't, not everything was explained, especially Daisy character, how she knew everything, how she knew how to do everything, her force, me explaining to him about like my theory about how she was trained and her mind was wiped and all that. He didn't really put those 2 and 2 together until he spoke to me. And with that said, I love that not everything's explained. I love that this is being presented as a 3-part story. 7, 8, 9, and once I explained it a little bit to him, he completely was like, "You're absolutely right." But I could see how someone who just doesn't really care too much about the lore might be like, "Well, how does she know everything? How could she beat Kylo Ren? How, you know what I mean?"
Well, and there's 2 things to that I want to go into just real quick.
Okay.
Because the first one is the example of Luke Skywalker. How does he guide the torpedo in to blow up the Death Star?
Yeah,
and it's because he hears Obi-Wan in his head. He doesn't tell him what to do. He just says, "Use the Force."
Oh yeah, it's funny because that was the exact argument I used. I go, Luke was given probably an hour's worth of training on the Millennium Falcon, blocking a laser, and he was told to shoot, two torpedoes into a hole the size of what I go. You have to suspend disbelief a little bit and have faith that some of that's going to be explained.
Right.
And it was perfect that J.J. Abrams did the first one because as much as I love J.J. Abrams, the biggest criticism he gets is that he's good at setting up things but not finishing them. He doesn't answer all the questions. And hey, that's what it seems like. That's what we're going to get. We got J.J. setting it up, and now we have these two other guys that are going to complete the story. And overall, they have an idea moving forward. You know that there's a place they're going to go to. It's just they're going to fill it in. So, and once we talked, he got it. So it was, it was really cool. But it was just I got to see what it was like on that other side of the fence where someone just doesn't know all that stuff or didn't put those, they don't dive into it like we do. And
Totally.
He was like, you're absolutely right. I didn't think about that. How did Luke know how to do that? I'm like, it's the Force, and that's so easy to write and to say or whatever.
That's not how the Force works.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. So I was like, these are the laws that this universe set up that, these people are trained at a very young age, extremely young. They mentioned that even in the prequels, and that it's possible she was really trained when she was a kid and her mind was wiped. And now it's all the Force Awakens. It's awakening inside of her. It's awakening. And that's when he goes, oh, and I was like, yes, that's what I think happened when he's talking about the Force and she closes her eyes and suddenly she's in tune with everything and she's able to defeat and go against all odds. I was like, dude, that's every story. That's Lord of the Rings. That's Back to the Future. That's Star Wars. That's classic writing.
Yeah.
So he was like, you're absolutely right. You're right. So I don't know. It was just a cool conversation I had with my buddy about it. So I thought I'd bring it up.
Very neat. And the making of book comes out October 25th.
Oh my God, I can't wait for that. We'll put that on the list when we get to that date.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay, all right, man. So what do we got next?
We had Kevin Feige in an interview with Entertainment Weekly. He said a couple things. The first thing he said, they asked him about the Spider-Man standalone films. And, we know he's going to be in Civil War, and he'll probably pop up in some of the other Marvel side of the movies. They asked him, but what about the Sony films? And he said, well, Spider-Man's in the universe now, and the fun of the universe is that the characters go back and forth.
Yep.
Which says to me we're going to get at least Iron Man in the standalone Spider-Man film.
Yeah, that's what I took away from it when I read the article. It's like it was basically like Feige makes it very clear that there's going to be Marvel characters in Spider-Man's movies. So
yeah.
I think this is really cool, dude. I can't wait for that. Who would you obviously Iron Man, Captain America, and did a little research. The Homecoming story arc you were talking about that you were reminded of has to do with Iron Man and Captain America.
Yeah, see, there you go.
Yeah, so it's I think it's gonna be really cool to see those two in the movie. But besides those two, if you could pick anyone that is in the Marvel stable right now that Marvel owns the rights to, who would you like to see in that movie?
Hawkeye, and I'll tell you why. Mm-hmm. There's a great issue of, I think it was Avenging Spider-Man, this most recent run they did a couple of years ago, where it was like two stories. It was like him and somebody else. Mm-hmm. Like it was kind of split like that, if I remember right. But he did a story with Hawkeye, and they were chasing down, I don't even remember who. I don't remember who it was, because it wasn't like Electro or somebody. It was a very third tier villain. Mm-hmm. And Hawkeye's giving a whole litany, because Spider-Man's kind of ribbing on him about well, so what do you do with your time? He's like, I practice. Yeah, but when you're not practicing, what do you do? I practice more. I don't. Well, why? And he, he's kind of joking on him, and it's the whole thing of you have a tech genius and a super soldier and a master assassin and a guy who shoots arrows, mm-hmm. and it's a play on that because he lays it out. He says, "Look, I'm on a team with a god and a tech genius and all these other people, and this is what I do."
Right.
He addresses that, and he says, so I better be the best in the entire universe at doing this.
Right.
And it's a great sort of humanizing story, and it really puts it in perspective. And it was a great way. I think for the writers to kind of say, look, we know, we get it, we hear you, but take a look at this. This is somebody. He's not just like the token human of the team, the non-meta.
Right.
He has heart, and he knows where, what the hell is he doing on this team? He has that thought every day. So
Hmm.
this is how he deals with it, and it's a great kind of bonding moment between him and Peter. Um,
Right.
and that's a great issue. I'd look it up if I could real quick.
Yeah,
Uh,
look it up while I tell you mine. My pick, and could probably never happen because it's actually going to be from the TV side of things. I would actually really love Punisher and Spider-Man, for a bunch of reasons. I mean that the Punisher, what first issue was in Spider-Man or his first appearance, so
yeah,
I think that's really cool. And not only that, but like the meta part of it, like when John and Tom got together and they helped each other audition where I love to see those tapes where they were playing each other and they send it into Marvel. So it'd be a really cool like just straight up hard ass Punisher and kid witty Spider-Man. And one of my favorite parts of Civil War. One of the coolest images I thought, and you can go, listeners, go ahead and Google it. It's Punisher and Spider-Man, and it's when the Punisher gets him, and brings him to Captain America and all of them, and he's like, I forget what he
I
says.
need a medic.
Right, right, and it's a really cool scene, and it's like it kind of brings it full circle, I guess, because the Punisher was originally hunting him down, and here he is, he's the guy that saved him, and so like I just think it would be a really odd pairing and really cool. So
It would.
that's who I would do.
That would totally work. That would absolutely work.
Right.
It was Avenging Spider-Man number 4.
Okay,
And
gotcha.
the great, let me see if this thing will stabilize here and I can read. uh I want to read the little bit from Hawkeye here. He goes, I mean, I can't miss. I'm on a team with superhumans and one god, in case you've forgotten. Even you, well, you climb walls really well. It's this whole fantastic thing about it. And if I miss, it means I'm just another dude with a bow. It means I've been fooling myself this whole time, and that's why I never miss.
Oh, that's
And
cool.
it's a really great, just kind of quick story, and it is a whole issue. That's right.
I think
I was confusing the format with A plus X.
I did read this because this was when they turned like the Spider-Man team up book into Avenging Spider-Man, where
Right.
literally every issue he had a team up, and that was a really cool, good written one.
Yeah.
Uh,
That whole, and it only ran for like a dozen or so issues.
right.
But that was a great run. I think it only went to like 15 or 16 that I can remember.
Mhm.
Um, but it was an awesome run because it was like it's him and the Thing, it's him and Hawkeye, it's him and Cap. The thing with him and Cap was fantastic
Right.
because that was about how Cap used to draw comic strips,
Oh, okay.
and it was a whole thing about
Awesome.
youthful pursuits,
Mm.
and like Peter still had his first chemistry set, and he was like, well, I guess I'm gonna throw this out because I made a whole big stink about stuff, and then Cap comes by with an easel and like some supplies, and it
Oh,
was
wow.
it's great. I loved that series.
That's cool. Yeah, I gotta find those. I
Yeah.
Spider-Man's on my backlog, The Amazing Spider-Man, and I think I'm one behind on Miles. Hawkeye, I'm behind. I'm so far behind. I have such a pile. Just I'm looking at it right now. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Well, actually, it's not that big. I thought I had more. I don't know where they're at, but yeah, it's I have such a pile. And
Definite.
I honestly this week, the only comics I did read, but I did get into them was the Justice League. I'm catching up on that,
There you go.
and it's been really cool. Yeah, the all about Darkseid, Apocalypse, and all of them coming. It's if one thing Batman and Superman made me do, it was like, God damn it, I need some good Batman versus Superman, and there's some good DC stuff, and I can't wait. Apparently, at the we should find out more later this week. I know Aaron said that he's doing the road DC Roadshow is coming by the shop
Oh,
or wherever
nice.
they're doing it this week. So should find out more. You should hear from us next week. We should have some information about Rebirth. And I think, dude, that's gonna get me right back into DC again because I'm so freaking lost with what to pick up. That's when I was right heavy to DC. I was like, I'll pick up Animal Man, I'll pick up Swamp Thing. Start me at number one, and I'm good. But now it's like issue 40 something of whatever. It's where do I start? And when we're saying it, that's a problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ran for 22 issues in an annual. So
Oh,
definitely look into that.
yeah, for sure, for sure. Well, I think we're gonna take a quick break. Oh man, we got a lot more news to talk about.
Yeah.
We've hardly scratched the surface. But again, you're listening to We Geek Podcast on the N.FM, and we'll see y'all in a minute. Welcome back to We Geek Podcast on the N.FM, and we got a lot more movie news to talk about. What do we got next here, man?
Well, we've got some more from Kevin Feige. In the same interview with EW, he talked about we should have some news on a director for Captain Marvel, hopefully within the next month or two, and that in subsequent months, before the end of the summer, we should have a cast.
Oh, okay.
So that will be cool.
That's awesome.
But
Yeah,
he did stress they were going to get the filmmaker down first, and then go from there.
Oh, okay. Cool.
So that's interesting. So we'll have announcements about the director and probably, like the creative team and everything behind it, the production team, and then we'll get casting.
Gotcha. That's awesome. And we'll talk about in a little bit, but I think the Doctor Strange trailer just hit. So, I think
What? No, I thought that was Thursday.
no, I see Marvel just dropped it. So,
Oh,
you
really?
want to
Wow.
you want to
Well,
talk about that in a little bit?
Yeah, we'll have to put that off on break. Damn. Breaking
Exactly.
news in the middle of the show. Damn you, Marvel.
Breaking news. No, I saw actually. I don't know. It's the cough medicine. I saw it earlier today. They said Jimmy Kimmel was gonna show it.
Right. I could have sworn that was Thursday. Damn.
Well, this is a teaser trailer. It's 2 minutes long, which is the same size of normal trailer. So
Right.
maybe the main one hits Thursday.
No,
but
if it's what they, because Cumberbatch is on Kimmel, right? And so that's
Right.
because I know that was where they were going to do it, because that was what they did with Civil War, right?
Right.
Was they were like, hey, and by the way, damn it.
Yeah. No, this is like the legit trailer.
Nice.
Yeah. So it's
Well, crap, I'm gonna have to do that on
real
break.
fast. It was like, oh wow, that's it. So we'll talk about that in a little bit. Man, I'm pumped for Black Panther. I like we normally do, we don't usually read reviews before movies, but a lot of and I'm staying away from all Captain America stuff. But the people that I trust, you know what I mean? The people that I follow and I trust that would never spoil that.
Yeah.
I like what they say. They say the two stands out are everything's great about it. They said the two stands out are Spider-Man and Black Panther. Now
Nice.
they really resonate with people, and that's they're getting it. So if these people these people that review movies that I do trust, and I think that's the key, man. You got to find somebody that you relate to, where what they like is what you like, what they don't like you don't like, and usually there's like a 90. If you can find someone with like a 95% similarity, that's super important to
Totally.
find. Right.
Totally.
And
we
because
and we saw, just to dovetail in with that, we heard that Ryan Coogler, who's directing Black Panther, is also co-writing.
Oh, that's cool.
So that's gonna be neat.
Yeah, I know the Black Panther comic came out last week. I'm stopping by the shop this weekend to get my
Excellent.
pull, but
Yeah.
I'm going to be picking that one up for
Nice.
sure.
Yeah, we'll talk about that. And the 3PO comic comes out today, too.
It's out today. Yep. So I'll be picking that up. I'm pretty excited. I've been stopping by the shop the last few weeks because there's this diner the next door that I love to go to. But when I walk in the shop, I'm like, I just don't know where to start. The problem is I really need to plan ahead and be like, I need this, I want this, I want this, I want this. Because I'll be out with breakfast with people, and I know they don't want to like hang out, at the comic shop the whole time, even though they like it, But yeah, so I need to go there with like a plan and a pull list and be like, here's my pull list. Let's just start now. And,
Right. There you
so I
go.
don't think about it. Those guys hook it up. So cool. All right. What's next? We got some Captain Marvel news.
Well, we did that.
Oh, we did that. Okay. See the cough medicine.
You're all right. You're all right. Yeah, we're done. We did that. We did the Black Panther news. So we'll do the Wolverine 3 news.
What's going on with that?
Boyd Holbrook from Narcos, which I still haven't seen, but I want to see.
Oh, I've seen the first few episodes of that. It's pretty good.
Good, excellent, excellent. He has been cast as the yet unnamed villain for Wolverine 3.
Oh, okay, interesting.
So that's curious.
Who do you think a villain's going to be in Wolverine 3?
I couldn't tell you.
Oh, that's right. They're doing the
Well, but maybe. Like, we're not sure.
Well, that's true. They're supposedly doing the Old Man Logan. I wonder who he would play.
Well, but I mean, the villain in Old Man Logan is Red Skull.
Right. Yeah. They would have to change a lot of.
Right. That's why I don't know. Like, they could keep a lot of like the actual Old Man Logan elements of it, but like story-wise, they would have to change most of everything. Really.
And I'm cool with that. I'm totally cool with that.
Yeah.
They replace the bad guys with mutant bad guys, and that'd be fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe he's Mr. Fantastic. No, I'm just kidding. I was trying to think of who they have the rights to. But okay, cool. Isn't there some other? There was was it you that posted some apocalypse news?
Yeah. Apparently during Fox's panel at CinemaCon tomorrow, Thursday. Tomorrow would be Thursday. At some point this week, Fox does their panel where they're expected to debut a new X-Men Apocalypse trailer that's going to have some extra claws in it.
Some Wolverine, huh?
Apparently. So
now, right. So we heard that rumored that he was going to be in it. I don't think anything was official yet. I think we all assumed he was going to be in it.
Right, but how?
Well, this is a new.
This takes yeah, but if we pull from the Days of Future Past storyline,
right,
the timeline that they've established there. And how, he was
in the bottom of a river.
Right, and then they pull him out. So this is going to take place while he's going through all the Weapon X experiments.
True. He might be a bad guy in this one.
I guess. I mean, I don't know. Unless he's part of a future glimpse of some kind. I don't.
Yeah, from what I understand, this rewrote all of the Singer movies, every single one of them.
Right, but even if we, except for like the casting, because remember the end of Days of Future Past when he wakes up back in the future that he lived in, and
some of them. Granted, the characters we saw in that future were Rogue, Beast. We saw Cyclops, right?
Right.
Right, so like some things could change, I guess is what
right.
I'm saying.
I get that it's like what we know from one through The Last Stand is kind of thrown out the window. I get that. I understand that. And Origins, because they were just like, you know what, that never happened.
Right.
Don't worry about that. That didn't exist. We're not going to talk about that. But still, just the idea of, okay, we'll go by the timeline they established in Days of Future Past, where he's in Weapon X. This is where he is now. He's being experimented on.
Yeah, but you gotta imagine, when he left with Mystique, and Mystique is a good guy in this movie. She's with the X-Men, so, I can't help but think that we don't know. At the end of that movie, she took off with Wolverine, so that's all we know. And in this new movie, she's with the X-Men, so who knows what happens in that time frame.
That's true. It wasn't actually...
We don't know if he has metal claws in this one, for all we know.
We don't know if that was actually Stryker or not. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, it could happen. It still could happen. Who knows? It's going to be interesting to find out.
Yeah.
I know I'm more excited for it than you are. It's not your thing.
Yeah.
But, yeah, no. When does that come out again?
I don't know because I don't really care. I'm sorry. I'm not keeping up with it. It's not too much longer. June, July?
Yeah, I think it's May.
God, is it May? Jesus.
Yeah, May. United States, May 27th.
May 27th. Okay, so in a month and a half.
Yep, month and a half. We got it.
God, we are coming up on these, aren't we? Jesus.
Yeah, we really are. What else, man? Did we get a new TMNT trailer?
We did. Did you see it?
Yep.
I'll tell you what. It's cool.
Yeah.
I thought it was cool. I love that we are getting Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2 Secrets of the Ooze again.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, It is. It really is.
Yep,
And
and
I
more power to them. I like that they pretty much showed a lot of the same stuff in this, so it wasn't too much more. I felt like
well,
it was
we saw more in action stuff.
right. We saw more of the Technodome. Like we
Yeah,
actually saw like okay, that's it
that's
right
the
there.
Technotrove. That's damn
Yep.
okay. They're really doing it.
Oh yeah.
We saw the brief shot of Krang. Uh, because that was where they were fighting on top of that thing.
Yep.
That was clearly him. We didn't really see much more Baxter, which was fine by me. They still showed the same Megan Fox shot, which just is everything that's wrong with Michael Bay movies.
Right. I feel like we got extended shots of what we saw in the first trailer.
Right.
Even the Bebop and Rocksteady. It's like we caught the next 5 seconds of what they were gonna say.
Yeah,
And I'm okay with that. Show me
totally.
the same kind of scene, so when I get in there, I see a whole bunch of new ones.
Yeah, and we saw the same thing, kind of like we saw when we saw Casey Jones in the last one. It was like, oh hey, that's a dude in the hockey mask, and now we got to see, oh, and he kicks ass. Okay,
Right.
cool, totally down with that.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I'm totally in. Can't wait for that movie, dude.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking forward to. I was one before the first one came out. I was like, Michael Bay's involved. I want nothing to do with this. Nope, don't talk to me about it. Don't nothing. And then I went and saw it, and I was like, you know what? That was fun. That was
Yeah.
actually fun. I totally turned around on that one.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think I had more. I was way more positive than I think anyone that I know, and I know it's because I was just a huge lover of the Ninja Turtles,
Sure.
and I didn't hate the Transformers as much as most people did. I didn't like them, and I thought it was absolute negative that he was involved. But when I went and saw it, I was like, "This looks awesome! All the kids are loving it." One of my friend's kids, he just kept quoting the Turtles the entire time. Every time he saw the trailers, um, it was really cool to see little kids get that excited for something that I know I loved as a kid.
And let's not forget, that's the target audience. It's not us. It's
Yes,
them.
exactly.
And that's, we can look at it and critique it from our perspective all we want, but at the end of the day, these are made for, this is a 7-year-old's movie.
Right, right. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Remember my friend's kid. He was like 5 or 6, and he was like, "Oh my God, Donnie, they got guns!" or whatever. That's the quote in the trailer. And he would constantly say that to me when I was over, and he would get in my face and make the same little thing. And I was like, "It's so cool to see a little kid that excited for this," and that's why it just washes all that away. It's like they made it for them.
Yeah.
Okay, but anyway, we're going to take a quick break. When we get back, we will talk about Doctor Strange. Again, you're listening to We Geek Podcast on the N.FM. See you in a minute. Welcome back to We Geek Podcast on the N.FM. And we just watched the Doctor Strange trailer, which I'm sure by the time you're listening to this, you have, hopefully. What'd you think of it, man?
I loved it.
Yeah,
I want
it
to
was
just go back and
strange.
watch it a whole bunch more. Like that was
Yeah, yeah. I mean, God, they showed me everything I wanted to know. I don't want to know anything else.
No, I'm set.
Yeah, I'm in, with the part where they it was like Inception or whatever, where it was like New York expanding on itself in like 4 different layers, and then he's like, "Teach me."
Yeah,
like
that was
I,
oh man, and that's because Doctor Strange has always been one of my favorite characters, just because I love the magic side of the Marvel universe, and to see, Doctor Strange has always been sort of, I don't know, he's always kind of come across as sort of a, like the whole point of his story is the fall from greatness and the rise in a different fashion. But it seems like in so many comics he's kind of lost that humility.
right.
Not He's not the condescending jerk he used to be.
Well, have you
But
been reading Jason Aaron's?
that's the thing I wanted to come to, which was
Okay.
that it seems like now they're coming back around to that. I've only read the first issue, but I've heard nothing but awesome things about it.
Yeah, and I was just gonna say that in the next few
Yeah.
you start to see that, and I think it's really cool. It's really well done. I just hate the comics $5,
Yeah.
but it's one of those where it's like it's worth it. And I think there's like 9 of them out now, so you have a hefty few to go through.
Yeah.
Sit down with them, go blow through them because you will. It's that's definitely one that I want to pick up as, hopefully they do like a 6 issue or 12 issue hardcover or something like that.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
But yeah, I loved the trailer. I loved the we didn't see much of the actors. Who was it that's trading him again?
The Ancient One.
The Ancient One. That's right. Okay, I didn't recognize her from the comic. But
Because it's a
but
he.
that's right. Oh, that's right. Okay, that's cool.
It's and I mean that's kind of the thing of like even that's the kind of thing, and I've completely forgotten.
Well, to be fair, I haven't read much Doctor Strange. I don't
Right.
know much about him.
Well, I
Of
mean,
all the movies coming out, he's probably the. I know more about Black Panther, way more about Black Panther than I do, and Ant-Man than I do about Doctor Strange. So,
really, well, I find that interesting.
why is that? What?
Well, I would have just thought, at least I thought you would have known more about him than Ant-Man.
Oh no, Ant-Man, Scott Lang. Like I've been reading Ant-Man the last few years. It's pretty
Nice.
good. Like it's the Scott Lang one. Ever since that he was going to be in the movie, they've been pushing him in a lot of comics,
Yeah,
and
very
they've
cool.
been pretty good.
Yeah. No, they
Um,
had to. I'm trying to think of the actress's name. Tilda Swinton. I couldn't come up with it.
oh okay,
She
gotcha.
does. She plays with that line between, is it male, is it female? She did that in Constantine when she
Mhm.
played Gabriel.
Oh, that's right.
That it was kind of like, oh, this is a dude or
Right. Yeah,
not. Like you,
she does look like that in the trailer. You're
yeah,
right. I didn't even think about that.
yeah, and it's the same kind of thing of like it's not. And I love how that kind of ambiguity also plays into this whole idea of perception.
Hmm.
I think that in and of itself, I don't know if that was intentional or if that's just something that's, hey, look, this happens to work out really well.
Right. Yeah,
But
I'm looking at the ancient one right now, like on Wikipedia,
yeah,
and it's yeah, you're absolutely right. It's drawn just like that too.
yeah.
Um.
So that's going to be interesting, and to see how the magic works. I love how this was fairly light on actual magic
Oh yeah.
in terms of like we didn't see anybody casting any spells or anything, but we saw this was more character. This is like, look, Steven, you get enough of a sense of who he was. They're like,
Right.
yes, he was a surgeon. He was very important. And I loved the scene early where it's like he's walking towards the window in his tux and the whole bit, and he goes to put his hands on it, and it's an immediate cut to him, rags, unkempt, the whole bit,
Right.
leaning on the same window. Like this is great. I am
Hmm.
I am really like I was excited about this when they announced it.
Oh yeah.
And then they announced Benedict Cumberbatch, and I got more excited. And now I've seen the trailer, and I want to go. Can I go see this movie now, please? Like,
Yeah. Exactly. This comes out next year.
this year.
This year. Oh
It's
my
it's
God.
November, if I remember
Oh
right.
my God. November is gonna be great.
October.
This and
October.
Star Wars. Whew.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is. Yeah, I think this is November.
Man, Disney. Oh, if you don't have Disney stock already,
Man, you know what I did today?
what's that?
No lie, that was what I went and bought some today.
Oh wow. Smart.
I am not even kidding.
Smart. Yep. That's definitely smart, dude. It's oh god, it's gonna get crazy. I don't see this going down anytime at all. Just because it looks quality. It looks, we saw that trailer. I don't know much about Doctor Strange. You do. We got it. We saw the trailer. We know that there's plot. There's more plot in that than a lot of other movies we've seen recently. And it. Oh god, it just looks so good. It
Yeah.
looks so good. Um, and
Here.
yeah, I love that. I love that. I liked it when they showed the hands. Like just all shaking.
Yeah, that's
When he's still one moment and then shaking the next, like you
that's
tell something happened.
that's a really really well done trailer.
Yeah.
That was really nice. I would love to go back and look at that just from the editing standpoint. That
Hmm.
was that was supremely well done.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, exactly. And the Sanctorum, the Sanctrum Sanctora.
Sanctum Sanctorum. I'm sorry, I'll help
Right.
you with that.
Yeah, that was cool, right?
I love that bit at the end. They didn't like we've seen the production stills. They've released them. We know what he looks like in costume and the whole bit. But for that trailer, it fit thematically with what they were doing. They don't need to show him. I love how like they've shown like peak, valley, and then on his way back to the next peak.
Right.
Like it's almost a threefold. Like you could have done three cuts. You could have done there he is holding his hands as a surgeon. Cut to in jail shaking. Cut to steady again standing. I don't know what they're battling on the streets in New York. I guess from those production photos.
Right.
But they could it could have gone just Bing, bing, bing.
Right.
But I like that they didn't actually do that. They were like, you've seen this, and now we're gonna give you a really nicely done tease
Oh yeah.
for this. The way they did that was great.
Yeah. Yeah. Totally. Completely agree, man. All right, dude. So what are the news we got here? We got a lot of movie news still,
Yeah, we
right?
got some more breaking news. Yeah, right. Natalie Portman will not be in Thor Ragnarok.
Oh, what?
Yeah, reports are saying that she is out, and that Tessa Thompson, whose IMDb page I do not have in front of me, is said to have been cast in a new kind of key love interest sort of role.
Huh. So what? Okay, so I guess it's just gonna be like an off-screen things didn't work out.
I guess
Odd.
I don't know.
That's really odd.
Uh, and what if I don't know. But
See, I imagined Thor wasn't even going to be near Earth in this one because I thought it was all going to be about.
Right. And
Yeah.
I didn't expect her actually to appear in it either. But
Right.
the
Yeah,
way
'cause
the way
none
they've
of
talked the way they've talked about it, it's like, oh, it's not just like with the Avengers, where they were like, hey, she's not really central to the story, but we still need to acknowledge her. Like, it seems like they're saying no, she doesn't want to come back.
right.
Instead of
Yeah.
like, it's not just she's not in it, it's that she, she doesn't want to be in it.
Right. Well, I didn't. Who was the other girl? She was in. Oh, she's in that TV
Oh,
show.
Cat.
Yes.
Yes.
She's not in it. I know. I didn't see her in the cast either.
Well, I mean, and again, that's the thing of it's not near on or around Earth.
Right. See, that's what I imagined when I saw that. Because I was like, oh, is she gonna be in it? Because I like her. I think she's funny.
Yeah.
I was like, and then I saw that. I was like, oh, she's not. That's weird. But okay, yeah, whatever. I'm still excited for it.
Totally.
I think this one's gonna.
Yeah. Oh, hang on, I had it. Tessa Thompson played. Oh, I lost it. What was her name? Bianca in Creed. She was the
Oh.
singer.
Yes. Okay. Yeah, she's good. I like her.
Yeah. I was like, I know that name. Where do I know that name from?
Who do you think she's playing in Marvel? Probably too early to tell.
I would say too early to tell.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll think about
So
that.
we'll find out.
Yep, I'm sure we'll find out soon. All right,
So
what else we got?
Let's talk about some of this other movie news that we haven't gotten through yet.
Right.
Disney's already making a Jungle Book 2.
Oh, okay. Like the animated or like the live action?
The live action, a sequel to the one that's coming out this week.
Ah, cool.
So they're moving forward with that. Hooray!
Cool.
That'll be interesting.
Was there a Jungle Book 2 animated movie?
Yes.
I'm sure there was.
I'm sure, because they did sequels of all of them. We just don't like to talk about most of them.
Right.
Because they were usually pretty bad.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think John Goodman was in it. That's what I'm looking at right now. That's cool. Okay. What else we got here?
The Kingsman, the Golden Circle. That's right, Kingsman 2. They've tweeted out a picture that says that maybe Colin Firth's character isn't actually dead.
Oh, that would be really cool.
Yeah, it was.
He was big in that.
Yeah, it was neat. It's a picture of glasses with like one of the lenses blacked out, like it's an eye patch, and it's set on top of a thing that says "Rumors of my demise have been greatly exaggerated."
That's perfect.
It's like, so that's neat. That might be cool.
Yeah, that would be really cool.
Because actually, I think when we're done recording this, I might rewatch that movie.
Yeah.
Because it was a good movie. It really was.
They were dressed so sharp in that movie. I kept thinking, like, I want these suits.
Right.
Yeah, they looked sharp. What else we got? We got some Edge of Tomorrow news?
Yeah, while we're riding the sequel train here, producer, I forgot the name. The guy who's doing the next Mission Impossible movie, whose name escapes me, confirmed he's producing the next Edge of Tomorrow movie. They are doing a sequel. Doug Liman, whatever, who directed Edge of Tomorrow, is going to return to direct. And Tom Cruise, of course, will be returning.
Okay,
So,
yeah. I mean, I loved that. I thought the first movie was great. Didn't they like mess it up by calling it like Live Die Repeat or something?
well, no, they called it Edge of Tomorrow, but like on all of the box art and everything, it's like the tagline was so much catchier than the title. Like,
Oh,
because the tagline was Live, Die, Repeat.
see, I thought they actually changed the title of the movie when they released it on Blu-ray.
Well, it looks like that because that's what's
Oh,
big down the side. Live, die, repeat. And then underneath that, in much smaller print, if I remember right, it says Edge of Tomorrow.
gotcha. Okay, and it was like All You Need Is Kill or something was the book, right?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, yeah, it was really weird. But it was good, great movie. I don't know how you continue that, but okay.
I may watch that after I watch Kingsman.
Yep, yep.
Just that was good. There was no word on whether or not Emily Blunt will return yet,
Gotcha.
so we don't know that yet.
Cool.
We saw that Fast 8, Furious 8, the Furiousful 8, whatever they're going to call this one, uh, has cast Charlize Theron as the villain.
Oh, okay. Yep, that's right. We heard about that.
Yeah, we don't have a name or an actual role or anything, but she's going to be the villain. And Scott Eastwood, is playing Kurt Russell's character's like protege trainee agent person.
Right. Okay.
So that's interesting. That's neat, I suppose.
Yep.
It's good to see. Like I like seeing like sort of like a resurgence of Charlize Theron.
Yeah,
Almost,
oh
it's
yeah.
like people suddenly remembered she can really act.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. I mean, she was rumored to be what, Miss Marvel for a while.
Right, that her name's been floated around with a good handful of others.
Right. I think once people saw Mad Max, they were like, "Wow, this
Yeah,
is her film."
yeah. Oh, big time. Oh, big
Yeah.
time.
Oh yeah.
Uh,
What else? What do we got? We got some Death Note.
yeah. Adam Wingard, who did The Guest, is directing a live action version of Death Note, and Netflix is going to pick it up.
Oh, okay.
It's going to be a Netflix film.
Oh, that's cool. So it's not gonna be like a TV show. It's gonna be a movie.
Yeah.
I kind of wish they did like a TV show live action.
Well, they've done live action Japanese Death Note movies, and they're
Right.
not like I've seen them I've seen them dubbed, and they're not bad. Like they don't it doesn't look really weird.
I guess I get greedy and I'm like, I'd rather 13 episodes of something instead of
Right.
an hour and a half.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough.
Yeah, or 2 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think they made three of them, I think, to cover the whole arc.
I guess it's cheaper to make the movie than the TV show
I
for
may,
for Netflix. At
I
least.
maybe I don't know.
I mean, their TV shows are the same quality as their movies that they make,
True.
which are fantastic quality.
True.
You have to imagine 13 hours of production compared to 2 hours is probably actually really cheaper. A lot cheaper. I don't know. I don't know what I'm talking about. But
Well, and it depends on effects, on locations. I mean,
it's true.
it's cheaper to make a lot of movies than it is to produce Game of Thrones.
That's true.
For
You're right. You're
example.
absolutely right. Yeah, that whole thing. Jeez.
Yeah, we found out Underworld 5 has a subtitle. It's going to be called Blood Wars
Oh, okay.
because they've completely run out of creativity. It does. Doesn't that just sound like the most generic thing ever?
It really does. Underworld 5, Blood Wars.
Yeah, it's like, okay, we've kind of just lost. Like, we've done this already. It's been vampires and werewolves for 4 movies and a prequel now, so we're just now getting around to calling it Blood Wars, really? Like this.
It honestly sounds like something someone in 8th grade, thought up of. Let's call it Blood Wars.
Yeah.
Right? I don't know.
So anyway, that's happening.
Yeah.
There was like a kind of behind the scenes thing at the MTV Awards aired for Kong Skull Island.
Oh, okay.
And it was like, hey, here are like the soldiers who are supposed to be hunting Kong, and they're running through the jungle, and that's what we're going to show you for 3 minutes.
Oh, wow.
But
Didn't The Rock host that?
He and Kevin Hart, I think, did.
He came out in like a Black Adam shirt or something I saw.
Oh, did he? I'm sorry,
Yeah.
I missed that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't get that. Was not real high up on my things to DVR list. So,
Oh yeah, no, I didn't watch it.
but
Yeah, no way, Jose.
although his movie with Kevin Hart does look funny, Central
Hmm.
Intelligence, that looks good.
Yeah.
And we saw, speaking of The Rock, at Paramount's thing, I think this was at Paramount. They did a brief bit about the Baywatch movie that they're doing.
Hmm.
Evidently, this is going to get a hard R rating.
Oh,
I
really?
didn't know that. Like, I thought maybe they were shooting for PG-13 or like just cross into R territory. Apparently, it's really raunchy.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and
That's
I
awesome.
did not see that coming.
That's awesome. That's good. I might as well go all the way.
Yeah, I mean, I guess why not?
Yeah. It probably, damn, they're probably leaving some money on the table by doing that. But I mean, hey, look at Deadpool.
I'm just saying, maybe, and again, maybe this is what I hope didn't happen. I hope that like
Right.
they saw Deadpool and they weren't like, oh hey, we can do stuff like that too. No, don't do that.
Right.
That's
They're like, let's just put some extra titties and have someone's head getting blown off. And
right.
yeah.
Not the movie we want. If I wanted to see Baywatch meets Piranha 3D, I would have watched Piranha 3DD and
Right. Yeah, exactly.
and been tremendously disappointed.
Yeah. Oh, I'm looking at some set photos. Like, yeah, even their Baywatch outfits, they were raunchy on TV. This is like straight up thongs
Right,
almost.
but they did apparently in one of the clips that they showed, they actually explained that.
Oh,
Where
okay.
somebody asked like why do these ride up so much and whoever they were talking to said because I designed them that way. So it was kind of a thing of like, hey, wink wink nudge nudge, we know why you watch Baywatch.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
Like
Exactly.
that's hey, whatever, more power to them.
Right. Right. Yeah.
So yeah, we'll have over the next couple days we're gonna have some more news from Sony and Fox and from Universal out
Right.
of CinemaCon, so that'll be something to keep your eye on for sure.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. And they got some eye candy in there for the women as well too. You got the or men. You got the Zac Efron and you got The Rock. Like I was looking at their photos too. They're just so freaking ripped. Zac Efron has to be on steroids.
He's The Rock has kind of been in charge of everyone's fitness regimen on that
Yeah.
cast,
Yeah, he
apparently.
looks like Hugh Jack. Well, Hugh Jackman's older, but you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
holy crap. Dude is ripped.
Well, I mean, look at what happened to The Rock after like two movies. Like
Yeah.
he came from Walking Tall and he did a couple more, and then like you see him in Fast
Well,
and Furious, and you're like, good, what the hell happened?
well, it was that movie, that workout movie that he did with
Oh yeah,
Michael
Pain and
Bay.
Gain. Yeah.
Pain and Gain. He like literally ate his older self. And I remember him. I remember watching something. He's like, "This isn't even my final form" or something. And I was
Yeah.
like, "That is great."
My favorite. I love. There was a thing online. There was like some little dude who was holding like two giant jugs of milk,
Mhm.
and it was all things like, you can't drink both of those, you're gonna die, what's gonna happen to you? And like he chugs both of them, and it pans back to whoever it was he was talking to, and they were doing like the whole standing aghast thing or whatever, and it pans back to him, and it shows The Rock slams the jugs down, and he's got a bad wig on, like the guy's hair was and everything.
That's great.
That's funny. I like that.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. All right. I think that's it for TV for movie news, right?
Yeah, it only took us 3.5 segments, but we made it.
Right. Exactly. What else we got? We got
Yeah.
some TV news, right? Oh, this one. You're gonna like this one?
I'm so excited for this. We got, and this happened on Ellen the other day.
Mm.
Apparently, they finally found a way with Melissa McCarthy's schedule. Some things
Perfect.
happened, some things shifted, some things moved around, and she will be returning to Gilmore Girls.
Some checks were written. No, I'm just kidding. She doesn't seem like that kind of person. But,
Nah, I doubt it. I really
right.
listening to everybody talk about it, I legitimately think it was a scheduling issue.
Right.
I don't think the PR on it was handled all that well.
Right.
But I don't think this was like I don't think there was ego or anything involved on either side. I
Right.
genuinely don't. Um,
Oh yeah, I
especially
saw some like set photos or whatever. It was like the Gilmore Girls' first set photos. Like, oh, Logan will love that.
yeah, that was in Entertainment Weekly this week. I need to go pick that up from Walmart tomorrow.
Word.
I'm excited, man.
Yeah.
You know me, I love the show. I still say you should go back and watch it.
I will eventually. There's just so much right now. Ratchet and Clank.
You're sick. You've got nothing to do.
That's true. I do have like the next 4 days off, and
There you
I'm
go.
gonna be just sitting and relaxing and probably reading comics and watching Netflix.
And who knows? You may turn it on and not like it, and then that'll be the end of this show.
No, I mean, if it's anything like kind of like those older CW shows, I did enjoy those, and I never thought I would.
It
was one of those like I was. You know how like you look at something, you're like, that's not for me, but then you're forced to watch it. That's what it was. Like there was a girl that I liked, and I was like, okay, she's into this stuff, and I watched it, and I was like, holy shit, what have I been missing? This is great.
Yeah.
Like and you get so caught up and wrapped it up in it, and you're like, dude, I was just completely wrong the whole time. I was just, and I fully admit I was just like, that's not for me, and bam, it totally was, because it was good storytelling. So if it's anything like those shows, I'm sure I'll like it.
There you go.
I'll get wrapped up in the drama.
Yeah, and the comedy. The thing that was great about Gilmore Girls was the comedy.
Oh, okay.
And especially like anybody that's lived in a small town, not necessarily like a rural, like I'm not talking, like moonshine and four-wheeling small town, but more like the kind of suburban wannabe small towns. This, like, you'll look at this and you'll see, I know someone exactly like that, and like that, and like that, and like that.
Oh, okay.
The town is its own character. That's what I loved about the show. It's not just set in a place. It's not like, hey, and they live in Stars Hollow. The town and everyone in it is its own character.
Gotcha.
And I love when they do that. It's not just the setting. It's something so much more. And I love when any show or movie can do that well. It really adds to it.
David Lindelof was with Felicity.
Right.
Okay, never mind. I was curious. I was like, is this the one that he was in? No, but he wasn't. Okay.
No, yeah.
Gotcha. All right. Well, what do we got next?
Speaking of CW, they have ordered 8 different hour-long episodes of Mad TV.
Oh, wow.
They're going to revive Mad TV for at least for 8 episodes.
That's really cool. Put that in between, like right after Flash or Arrow or something.
Or in the same block. They'll probably put it in the same block with Whose Line Is It Anyway?
Oh, that's true.
Because that's done really well for them bringing that back.
That's true.
That's done really well for CW, and it's because those guys are hysterical.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. That's awesome. I wonder who's going to be in it. Like there was a lot of great people in Mad TV.
Well, I mean, you had Key and Peele came from Mad TV, didn't they?
Yep. Oh yeah, exactly.
They'll be back.
And not everyone can be on SNL, so like there needs to be other places where it's like you can be showcased,
right?
And grow and become big. And it wasn't Mad TV, but it was, what was the other one in the 90s? Like
In Living Color.
In Living Color with like Jim Carrey and the Wayans brothers, stuff like that. Yeah, like you need other places where you get these comedians to go crazy, and writers as well to kind of, there's nothing like that on TV anymore, like David Harvey show or any of that other stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know. So that's really cool. I like that.
Totally.
All right. What else we got?
Yeah, where are we here? Sorry, I lost my place for a minute. Because Seth Rogen and Evan Goldberg haven't done enough comic adaptations, they're producing an adaptation, and they'll be directing a pilot for Cinemax for Garth Ennis's series The Boys.
Oh wow,
that's
awesome.
And Cinemax is a great place for it because that's a nasty, rough comic.
It's absolutely. I was just talking to my buddy about that yesterday.
Yeah.
He was like, "What's that Garth? Get his comic that and I was like, The Boys? Is that
Yeah.
Does it look like what's his face is it, Simon Pegg? He's like, that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And interestingly, Eric Kripke, who's the showrunner for Supernatural, is going to be writing the pilot.
Oh, okay, that's cool.
That'll be interesting.
Oh yeah, for sure, absolutely. Yeah. What else we got here? We got some Cloak and Dagger.
And you see, here's the thing. I love this news. Freeform, which is, they changed the name from ABC Family to Freeform. I don't know why, but okay, they did.
Why did they do that?
I don't know.
That's so.
But they have ordered a Cloak and Dagger series, but they haven't just. It's not like, oh, we want to do this. Maybe no, they've given it. There's no script, no showrunner, no cast. but they've given it a straight to series order.
Wow.
So and I love this news. I've seen some people freak out. They're like, "Oh, they're gonna make it a stupid teen drama." I'm like, "Have you read Cloak and Dagger? Yes, it's a teen drama. That's the whole point."
Yeah, I was never a big fan of Cloak and Dagger. I don't know
Yeah,
how they hold the whole series.
yeah, totally.
I don't know. I guess it was just never my cup of tea. So I don't know. It always just seemed like
Yeah,
there was Dagger and Cloak was like just like in the like hovering,
yeah.
always hovering.
There was kind of that. The versions of them in the Ultimate Universe were way better. They were
Okay.
much more realized, I thought.
Okay. Yeah,
Um,
I remember them popping in and out of comics, but I just never, it was never my thing. I wonder how close to that they're gonna get, or if they're gonna make it a little bit more down to earth.
it'll be a little more down to earth, I'm sure,
Hmm.
because this is going to be part of the Marvel TV universe
Okay.
and possibly cinematic universe, however those want to cross.
I'm curious how that's gonna play if they're gonna, because we don't have any ABC stuff crossing over with Netflix. I wonder if any of the maybe the Shield guys are gonna run into these people.
Right. Well, we had Jamie Alexander on Agents of Shield. She played Sif in Thor.
Oh well, yeah. Well,
We've
there was
had
okay, the
Yeah,
movie and the TV show. Yes,
yeah,
I'm
and
talking about these two shows. Are they going to cross over?
I imagine at some point they'll have to.
Okay, it would be interesting because they would actually play really well in together.
They
And
absolutely
I
would.
always thought they were mutants, but I guess they weren't.
Well, they were, and then a few years ago they were retconned to not be mutants so that they weren't part of the deal with Fox.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
So they could just retcon and be like, they're not mutants anymore. We got them
Well, I guess they did it before the deal, maybe.
before
I
the
don't know.
deal. Okay, all right. Well, hey, we got to take a quick break. Again, you're listening to We Geek Podcast on the N.FM. We'll see y'all in a minute. Welcome back to We Geek Podcast on the N.FM, and we were just in the middle of some TV news. Before we get into some video games. We were just talking about Cloak and Dagger, man. So it's gonna be cool if they kind of blend them in with Agents of Shield a little bit. That'd be interesting. I gotta catch up on Agents of Shield. I'm a few episodes behind.
Yeah, I haven't seen anything since they came back.
Oh wow. Okay. Yeah. It was good. It was good. What else we got? We got some Defender news.
Yeah, Charlie Cox has said that they're going to start filming The Defenders later this year.
Oh, that's awesome.
So that's going to be cool.
That's gonna be really cool. I'm curious who all is gonna be in it. I imagine we'll get Punisher and Elektra in it. Maybe we'll even have Elektra as the villain.
Maybe. I don't know. I
Or
genuinely don't know where they could go.
yeah, like the Hand. I don't know. That what would be the villain? Or what if Charlie Cox is the villain?
What if they're
No,
all
they haven't set that up.
if they're all teamed up against Daredevil? I don't think so.
Well, there's that one comic. Was it Shadowlands?
Yeah, but they haven't because season 3 for Daredevil is all gonna be Born Again. Like that's clearly what they've set up for that.
Um,
So I don't know if he's gonna have to fall that far, in the Defenders for them to be. I don't think he's gonna be the villain.
I never read Born Again. I don't even know what that's about.
It's about everything that Wilson Fisk said he was gonna do.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. No, I didn't. I never read that.
It's a
Have you
good.
ever read Shadowlands?
I haven't read Shadowlands.
If they just replace the Daredevil as the villain, because Daredevil's a villain in Shadowlands. Basically, all it's Iron Fist. It is Luke Cage. It is Elektra. It is the Punisher. It is all of these characters against Daredevil. It's Daredevil where he is taken over by something that took over somebody in the last Daredevil season. Basically, same exact concept, except it was Daredevil. And he is like almost impossible to take out. So I could see them doing Shadowland, but with a different character.
Interesting.
I think it'd be cool. Yeah, you look at the cover; it's got like Spider-Man, Punisher, Moon Knight, Fist, and Luke Cage. So it'd be cool. I gotta read this Born Again. I never read that, and I
Yeah,
know it's
it's a good.
Frank
It's a
Miller.
yeah, it's a good run.
Right, yeah. I'm sure that's one of the ones where Daredevil just gets the shit beat out of his world. So,
It starts off with the absolute collapse of his world.
mm.
Like everything, personal, professional, everything just completely falls apart.
Oh wow.
And it's all Wilson Fisk's machinations. It's all the Kingpin bringing him down.
Gotcha. Well, I'll be reading that shortly.
There you go.
All right. So, we got any more
we
TV
got
news?
we got some Iron Fist news.
Okay.
David Wenham, who played Faramir in Lord of the Rings,
Yep.
he has been cast as Harold Meacham in the Iron Fist series.
Oh, awesome. Now, refresh my memory. Who is it? Do you know who that is?
Harold Meacham is the bad guy.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
he's bad almost out of the gate. So,
Oh, okay. Yeah, I
it's
don't know anything about him. I'm looking up, and it looks
yeah.
like it's old comic.
It is. Because I mean that's the thing. Iron Fist is one of those who's like his origin was told once, and then we really just don't feel like going back to it, I guess.
There was one recently, actually,
What's that?
where they told his origin again.
Did they? Okay. Well, I'm sure if they're working for a series, then they would start to reintroduce some of these characters. It makes sense.
Right. I'll try and look it up, and tell you by the end of the podcast. I think it's called Immortal Iron Fist, or Fist: The Origin of Danny Reed.
Rand.
I could be completely wrong. I'll have to look it up. But I remember reading it, and I was like, it was dark. Like, it was Batman dark. Yeah, I think it was the Immortal Iron Fist storyline. I'll look it up, but it was really cool. I just remember it being like, oh, this is dope, and this is dark, and this is cool. I don't know. But yeah, so cool. We'll move on to some video game news.
Yeah. Did you see that? Did you see the PS4 update?
Yeah, I updated, but I didn't do anything. What's up? Tell me about it.
They've added, like, there've been a couple of tweaks and some other stuff. But the big thing is remote play.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you can access your PS4 through. You can set it up. You turn on remote play, and then whatever you have, Mac or PC, download the remote play app and sync it up to your system and plug in a PS4 controller. It only works if you actually plug the thing in to whatever it is you're using.
Okay.
It doesn't. Now maybe it works on Bluetooth. I don't know. I haven't tried. Because that just seems. I've never had really good luck pairing Bluetooth devices. I don't know why.
Gotcha.
But and then you can just play. It works really well. Like, there was not, when I tried it out, there was no lag, there was no noticeable defect.
Oh, that's cool.
So
yeah, I got a Mac. I can set that up.
Yeah. It doesn't take all that long, and it's fun. Like, there's it's great for when you're not home.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, which I know sounds like a really stupid thing to say, because that's the whole point of remote play.
Right.
But like, that's something that I was always kind of like, man, I could, this would be kind of fun. This would have been great if I'd had this when I was still at Full Sail, because we would get like a half-hour break between classes.
Right.
And I was like, I've studied, I'm caught up, we're not getting a new project yet. I have nothing to do. Mm-hmm. This would have been perfect. Just plug in a controller and tear through, some, what would it have been at the time? Well, it would have been when it first dropped, so it would have been some infamous Second Son, I guess, or Killzone.
Oh, nice. Yeah, see, I've done remote play with the Vita, and it's amazing.
Yeah,
so I imagine it works a little bit the same.
So that was new. I don't know, like I said, I don't know what else they've added.
Right.
I haven't checked the store. I forgot to check the store this week. I don't know what's new.
Ratchet and Clank and Dark Souls.
Oh, that's right. Dark Souls 3 was this week.
Yeah.
I wish everybody who's going to play that tremendous amounts of luck.
Yeah, not going near it. Nope.
No, not for me. Totally not.
I had my taste with Bloodborne, and I'm good.
Yeah, that's definitely one of those that's like, it may be the most amazing game ever. It's not for me.
Yeah, no.
But hey, you want it, you got it. More power to you. Go for it.
Yeah, man. I can't stress how much fun Ratchet and Clank is. So, did you see that Mega Man TV show's in the works? We
What?
talked about that before?
Oh yeah, I think we mentioned something about that.
Yeah, let me see if I can pull it up here. Yeah, it says the show will reportedly launch in the celebration of the franchise's 30th anniversary. Capcom and Dentsu Entertainment are bringing animated Mega Man show in 2017.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was initially revealed in 2015 on an updated landing page. So yeah, I guess they updated it with the graphic.
Nice. Yeah,
Um,
I remember when they were like, "Hey, this is gonna be a thing," and like
mhm.
that was it.
Yeah, exactly. So it's the people behind Ben 10 that's doing it.
Oh, cool.
So
That's
cool.
yeah, that was decent animation. Excellent.
Yeah. Yep. But yeah, man, dude, Ratchet and Clank, like it's. Did you ever play the older ones?
I did. Yeah.
Yeah, see, I didn't. I never played them, and it was one of those things where, I guess at that time I was like, no, that's not for me. Um, and then now, I at first was like, oh, Ratchet and Clank's coming out, I could care less. And then when I started hearing people like, oh, this game's really cool, and I started looking at it, and I was like, holy shit, that looks awesome. This is really fun. And then when I finally got it, and what's one of the things that kind of sticks out is it doesn't feel repetitive, and that was my biggest fear because it was like it's a platformer,
Right.
like Banjo Kazooie or any of these 3D platformers. I was just like, those were the games that I never really liked, and uh, there's so much going on the screen when all the nuts and bolts are flying at you, and you're shooting all the bad guys, and like you have all these weird random guns. You have guns that make the enemies dance.
Yeah.
You have guns that like
That's a classic.
yeah, like pixelate them and stuff, and it's really well done. The animation is just, you
Nice.
can tell they took a lot of this uh, uh
From the film.
from the film. Yeah,
Yeah.
so I was
Okay.
just like, this is so cool.
I love that out of every 3D platformer in existence you could choose from, you went with Banjo Kazooie.
Right. Well, no, I was just thinking like, the Donkey Kong Country Nintendo 64 didn't like. I didn't like any of those platformers on the Nintendo 64. Mario was as close as the one that I liked, but it was just it wasn't for me at that time. I was not into. That was right around the time where I was like, I'm done with these kind of games.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've had my fill. And then I got about around to it a little bit with when Mario Galaxy came out. I was like, oh, that's cool. The Super Mario World 3DS, that game. I was like, this is cool. And then now with this and the Lego games, I love the Lego games. I never thought I'd say that, but it makes sense. Like it's just really fun, and every level. It seems like every level they change the way you play. Like of course, there's a lot of the 3D platforming, but suddenly you're in a spaceship and you're shooting guys and you're using this magnet thing to pick up like 20 different guys, and you're shooting them at a ship far ahead, and there's a level where you're riding on this like water thing, and like it's just completely different. um and I've only played like an hour, 2 hours maybe, and
Nice.
all these different levels and worlds. It's really well done.
Oh, cool. Very
It's
cool.
beautiful. But yep, so that's what I was playing this week. What
Nice.
other news we got?
Well, we got an update on the Final Fantasy VII remake, because a lot of people freaked out when they heard it was going to be episodic.
Oh,
And I wanted to tell those people to sit down and chill the hell out immediately, because this counteracts the idea of, well, if they remake the game and it's too big, they have to cut stuff out. Well, then let them make it episodically so they can cram absolutely everything in.
right,
And people didn't like the idea because you can't please the internet. So don't
right.
bother and just make something awesome, and they'll shut up eventually. Um, One of the producers for the project, Yoshinori Kitase, has said that each episode of the remake should run on par with the scale of one Final Fantasy 13 game.
Oh, okay.
Now, there was an interesting note that I found, and I can't remember what the website was called. How long to beat, I think, was the name of the website, where they do like an estimation of just how long it should take to run through a game. Not like a speed run, but like a full, you sit down, you immerse yourself. It should take you about X amount of time.
Okay.
They said that 13.2 takes about 28 hours,
Oh,
which
okay.
is understandable. It had a little less content. And I imagine 13.3 would probably clock in somewhere not too terribly far from that because it's a timed game.
Mm.
But 13, the actual original first Final Fantasy 13, clocked in at just about 50 hours.
Oh, wow.
So we're getting episodes of a game, each of which contains somewhere between 30 and 50 hours of gameplay.
Wow.
Yeah, I'll take that.
Yeah.
How many times do you see like, oh, it's a 40-hour game, and you're like, oh, okay, that'd be cool. But now
Yeah.
you're like, okay, each part is 40 hours, and we don't know how many episodes yet. So everybody's like, oh, well, The Witcher 3, 200 plus hours. I'm like, yeah, this may well blow that away, depending. So I look, I just want to see more of this. I know that E3 this year is mostly going to be Final Fantasy 15. Just because that's their big thing this year, and they're going to push it, and I understand, and that looks awesome, and I want that. But I still want just like a little update. Just give me a little something. Just like, oh, hey, by the way, here's a piece of news. That's fine. And then we'll talk more about it next year. I'm totally cool with that.
Right.
But let that be how this works this year.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I couldn't agree more, man. I'm all in. I've been whenever they show the trailer. Now you played way more Final Fantasy than I have. When they showed the trailer a couple years ago, I was like, that looks awesome.
Oh,
And
man.
then yeah, and this year with all the new Final Fantasy stuff, I'm like, Jesus Christ, just give it to me already. And
looking at that engine, applying that level of detail and graphics and free roam to Final Fantasy VII, are you yes, 1,000 times over, yes.
oh yeah.
Run a quick video loop of any WWE crowd during some of these. Just yes.
Yep, absolutely. So that's man.
That's what I want, and that's gonna be so awesome. It's gonna be so amazing, and it's a lot of the same creative team. So they're yes, some things are gonna be changed. It's not gonna be a direct, complete adaptation from the original to the remake, but deal with it. That's what happens during these things. And my thing is, as long as it doesn't suck, I don't care what they change, really.
Right.
As long as it works for what they're trying to do, and it doesn't, if you tell a good story and it stays a good story, you may have to change it, you may have to edit, you may have to remove, but you may have to add. But if it stays a good story, then you've done your job.
Yeah.
Simple as that.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. All right, well, we got to take a quick break. When we get back, we'll get more into video games and our review of Jurassic Park. Again, you're listening to We Geek Podcast on the N.FM. See you in a minute. Welcome back to We Geek Podcast on the N.FM, and we are running our last segment here. So we got some more video game news to talk about, a review. Do you want to jump? Do you want to do you want to do... Yeah, let's finish up video games, then we'll get into Jurassic Park. What other news we got here?
Well, we saw back in 2014, Nintendo patented a device that it's object detection, it's part controller, I looked over this thing and I have no idea what I was looking at all.
Yeah.
But the documents were made available to the public. It looks like something that would be great to use like a whole bunch of amiibos with.
Yeah.
Like that kind of looked like what it was made for.
Yeah, bingo. It looked like it knew where you're at in the room or something, and where things were at. You're absolutely right. I didn't even think about that. That would make sense for toys.
Yeah.
For them to like kind of come to life. Because I still think Nintendo thinks of itself as like the best toy factory in the world, best toy company in the world. Yeah, that would be interesting. I don't know. I just hope that whenever E3 comes, they go, here's a normal controller, here's a great machine, and we have third-party support.
Yeah, that's Like if they do that, they win E3 basically.
Right, no, but that's not what's gonna happen. They're gonna do their thing and go, here's some wacky new controller where you can take on the go and keep it home, but we're gonna make it impossible for third party people to make for it.
Right. It's a completely touchscreen control. Like, have you seen that controller that we know isn't actually a thing?
Right, yeah, exactly.
God.
Oh, and by the way, we have a launch title that's Pokemon, but it's Pokemon postage stamp. We know you've been waiting for it, and you're going to be able to pick different poaches. Jesus Christ, it's like, come on. That's what they're going to do. They're going to be like, we're going to give you Mario the Cup game. What?
Right.
What is that? You'll find out. It's wacky woo. Yarn Donkey Kong. It's
two brothers, one up.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's Jesus. So it's that's what they're gonna do. They're gonna be like, we're gonna get weird. Strangest toy company.
Because they always do. Except for Luigi's Mansion. Luigi's Mansion was a cool launch title.
Yeah, they strike it out of the park sometimes, but other times it's like, come on.
Yeah. Sometimes it doesn't work.
Right, exactly. Like, how long are we gonna wait before we get like a console version of like a RPG Pokemon game?
A very long time.
Yeah, it sucks. It seems like it would make much sense, but they're so stubborn. They're like, nope, you got to interact with people. We got to make it mobile, but not on the internet though.
Yeah, but you know what? I'm okay with that staying handheld.
Oh man, I don't know. Keep it handheld. There's one every year, but also on top of that, give us the console. I don't know. I would love that.
I want a Pokemon Snap sequel.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe in a VR headset or something, but not on the TV. I don't know. I'm not a fan of the on rails anything.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah. Even Pokemon, I'm like, okay, snap to Pikachu. All right, snap to Mew. What do I get?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we do have. I don't know if you saw, but there's rumors of some voice acting for the not Link characters in the next Legend of Zelda game.
Oh no! Okay, who?
Yeah. Well, I didn't see names, but just the idea of like, hey, some of these characters will have actual voices for once.
Oh, wow. Did you see the Max Landis Pokemon thing?
No, I didn't see the.
There's been a hashtag Pokemon Landis.
Okay, why?
Well, I heard him on the Game Over Greggy show, and they like cut from break on purpose about him talking about it. He's like, oh, it's really odd. Someone at Warner Brothers just started tweeting Pokemon Landis, and I have no idea what that could mean. And then he just slyly looks at the camera while they change the subject.
Okay.
Or maybe it's Landis Pokemon.
Interesting.
Yeah. And I looked at the hashtag, and yeah, it's Landis Pokemon, and he's having a ball with it. He's like, what could that mean? Why would they ever hashtag me in a Pokemon rumor? And it's like, holy shit. Are they really going to try and do like a live action Pokemon movie and have, the hottest writer right now write it? Plus, we all know he fucking loves Pokemon.
Yeah.
If anyone could do it, I think he could. He knows that lore. He knows that world, I don't know. I just thought that was really interesting.
That's curious. That's very curious.
I saw you, so I sent it to you, and you saw it, and I was like, he didn't respond, but you might have like been half asleep and didn't
I think I was and just missed it. Like
right.
Like whatever happened, like it just blew right by me. And
right. And like all the tweets are like, God damn it, why are you teasing with us? And he's like,
As one of my favorite jokes ever that must have gone over so many people's heads was they made an Arceus joke in House.
Wait, what do you mean?
Remember the Hugh Laurie show House?
Right.
Yeah, there's one, I forget which doctor it is arguing with him about something because that was the entire show. And he's just sitting there and he said, well, that's why when Arceus created the universe, he included 3 states of matter. Oh, and I was like, how many heads did that just fly right over?
Right, exactly.
It's like, man.
The god Pokemon, Well, we got a few minutes, man. Do you want to? Is there any other news we really need to talk about, or do you want to talk about Jurassic Park?
Well, just to, there was one other piece of Legend of Zelda news that they may be including gender selection.
Oh, okay, that's cool.
For your Link, which I guess you would play as Link or Linkle, which they introduced in Hyrule Warriors. That's neat. It's cool.
Why not? It makes sense.
But
Yeah, that makes sense.
I think, but yeah, I don't think there was anything else that was really really big.
Nah. So what'd you think of Jurassic Park, man?
Oh, I loved it. And I
Yeah.
loved, like, this is the way it should be. You watch the movie as a kid, you read the book when you're older.
Oh yeah.
I think
Oh
it
yeah.
works out perfectly because a book is
There's so much
so
more.
different.
Oh, so yeah, it was completely. Well, it had a lot of the same beats, but a lot of the characters were different.
Yeah.
Like the lawyer was different.
There was more depth to him.
Oh, there
Like,
was way more depth to him. Like he wasn't some snobbering lawyer that got killed on a toilet. Like he was pretty badass.
yeah.
He was just the whole. John Hamm was kind of a dick.
Hammond was a terrible person.
Yeah, he really was. They definitely changed that in the movie. Yeah, there was so much. I don't know. It felt like the world was, and this is what's great about books. It was well more fleshed out
Yeah.
than the movie was, of course, because the movie can only tell a story in a certain amount of time.
Right.
And I thought both were great. It totally makes sense why this was a bestseller. Everyone loved it. It totally makes sense why the movie was, as iconic as it was.
Sure. The things that they changed worked. Like they
Oh
didn't.
yeah.
They saw what they had and they said, okay, we have a lot of these that are really great ideas, so let's make them into something not family friendly is a term that gets a bad rap, I think. Because so many people think it's like, oh, well, they dumbed it down and they got rid of the interesting stuff. Watch Jurassic Park; it's interesting as hell.
Right.
But it had to be tweaked. It had to be changed a little bit. And what I loved about the biggest difference is in the movie when everything goes downhill, it goes all the way downhill before you come back
Right.
at the end. In this, there's a little valley.
Yeah.
Like it starts to go to crap and then it's like, "Oh, no, wait, hang on. We got
Getting
everything
the power
back. Oh, we're good. We can do okay." And then it's like, "Oh, we missed something." And then it goes completely to crap.
Right, exactly.
And I love that. That was great.
Oh yeah. And they're still looking for the kids and whatnot, but it just didn't seem like John Hamm cared. Like
No, he could have given a damn.
right. I noticed some of the things in the book they added, or there were things in the book that basically were in the second movie.
Yes.
You could tell they were like, well, this element that we just completely skipped over in the movie, now we can add it to this. Like I think it was like the whole opening scene of the second movie.
Yes.
Yeah, but it was really well. I loved it. I'm really enjoying this reading, like a new book a week.
So what are we doing? It's your turn. So what do we got this week?
All right, so this week we are going to do kind of like picking up from the last one I did, where it was all about the video game industry. Now we're just going to take a little bit of a turn. It's going to be live from New York, an uncensored history of Saturday Night Live. Written by Tom Shales and James Andrew Miller. So I'll be honest, probably going to listen to the audiobook of this because I think it's really cool. But yeah, it's just basically like the untold story of Saturday Night Live, and apparently it's like throughout the years. So it's basically the summary. Saturday Night Live changed the face of television, introduced brash new stars, impact American life. Dozens of stars, writers, guest hosts, contributors, craftsmen, and narrators recall the backstage stories, behind-the-scenes gossip, feuds, fobbles, sex, drugs, struggles, calamities, including personal details never before revealed. Stars interviewed, including Mike Myers, Chris Rock, Bill Murray, Tom Hanks, Adam Sandler, Chevy Chase, Will Ferrell, Dan Aykroyd, the list goes on. So it's just it's like a tell-all.
Nice.
And I thought it'd be an interesting choice for us to do that. I like that kind of stuff. So we're doing that. So should we clean house?
Let's clean house.
Let's do it. Okay, so make sure you go to our Facebook group, We Geek Podcast. And there's two of them. One you can like, one you can comment. WeGeekPodcast@gmail.com, at The Logan Witt, at Adam Estep, at We Geek Podcast. The N.FM live every Wednesday at 9. And I think that's it. Make sure you go check out our Superman vs. Batman and Daredevil review. That's live on the podcast. I gotta post it. Sorry, I'm sick, but I'll post all that tonight. So we will see you guys next week again. Same time, same channel. We Geek Podcast. Captain.